Automatic purchase orders.
Okay. Automatic purchase order, MRP, physical inventory, and quota arrangement. Also, let us check it. Can you mute your earphones? It's creating a lot of disturbance. Yes, thank you. On today's Shakti. Okay, so your first topic will be for today's automated PO. I'll go through quickly for automated PO. Automated PO means if you want to create multiple POs with respect to PR, suppose if you have one or two PRs, you know how to create it. With reference to PR, you'll create a PO manually. But if you want to automate the process, you can create the purchase orders within a fraction of a second. You can create hundreds of POs in one single transaction if you automate this process. So I'll show you the process. Since you already know all this process, I'm not explaining you more, just I'm showing in the system how to do it. If you have any doubts, you sit and do everything. So I'm just going through quickly all the basic scenarios. Excuse. So first topic will be automated PO. For that, few prerequisites are there. I'll tell you what are the prerequisites. Let it get open. Okay, here. First step is create a material. You know how to create a material, right?
So you sharing the screen, sir?
Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry, sir. Let me know when you can view my screen. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me start it. Go to transaction MM01. How will you create a material? Follow the same process. No changes. Follow the same process. I'll create material as auto1. I'm creating extra material as auto1. I'll follow the same process, but one addition I'm going to make it here. What is that addition is in purchasing view, I'm going to check on auto PO. This is the first criteria. First criteria is I'm going to auto PO. You have to check. This is the only add-on I'm doing it in this. So rest all will remain the same. I'll give the violation class, price control, then price I'll give it, then let us save. $3,000 is the violation class. Okay. Next step is after this, go to vendor master. You can go to change vendor master or you can create. It's up to you. However you want, you can do it in material also. You can go to change material in MM02 or else the creation part only you can do it. Second step, I'll go to transaction XK01. I'm going to create. If you want, you can go for change option also. Directly you can do it in change option also. I'll go to transaction XK01. Then enter company code. Enter the company code, purchasing organization, Okay. So everything will remain the same. Only in purchasing data, we are going to make one change. What is the changes? We have there also have a field called automated purchase order. There we need to check on automated PO. Here we have a automated purchase order. Check on this, save it. After the vendor will be created. Once the vendor is created, next step, maintain the purchasing information record. Normal process, how you are creating the purchasing information record, follow the same process. Go to M11, create a standard information record, same process. So here, no changes here, just follow the standard steps what you have. After creating info record, maintain source list. After creating the info record, maintain source list. For maintaining source list, transaction code is ME01. Go to transaction ME01 and maintain the source list. While maintaining the source list, one change what you have to do is fix. You have to check on fix. Rest all will remain the same. Just check on fix option. Fix option. Check on fix and save it. Okay. Once this is done, now let me create a PR. You know how to create a purchase request, right? Transaction code is ME51N. Follow the same process. How you are creating the PR, follow the same process and create a PR. For the new material, what you have created in today's class, you have given the material as auto one, right? I'll give it as 100 quantity. Material is plant is TATP, storage location is 0001. After this, you have to click on source of supply, then assign the source. Since you have the source, automatically system will pick. I'm creating the PR manually, but when it is coming from different teams, automatically PR will get generated with fixed vendor info record for auto PO process. For auto PO, once you have the purchase request, last step is go to transaction ME59N. Go to transaction for automated PO. Go to transaction ME59N. Go to transaction ME59N. I am converting a PR into PO for one single PR. So for that I am giving the requisition here. If you have multiple PRs, just click on this multiple selection option. You have it. Then give all the list of PRs. Just you have to give the PR number and click on execute. So that system will automatically create a PO if the all the conditions are satisfying for auto PO. What all conditions has to be satisfied? There are only 4 conditions. First is in material master purchasing view, auto PO has to be checked. Second one is in vendor master purchasing data, auto PO has to be checked. Third, purchasing information record is mandatory. Fourth one, source list has to be maintained with fixed vendor. See, purchase order has been created successfully. I have shown it for only one. If you want, you can create some 10 PRs. After that, go to multiple selection in M59 and just click on multiple selection and give all the 10 PRs at a time and execute. Even if you have more than 100 PRs also, it will execute in one shot. Just you have to give it here, execute. That's all it should do. So this is auto PO, automated purchase order. So
Even if the PRs are created for some different vendors and the material combination, then grouping of the some POs will also happen. No?
any material and many material and vendor combination, but this it should satisfy these 4 conditions. I told you, no, prerequisites what all you have. If it is satisfying these 4 conditions, it will convert a PR into PO.
Okay, some grouping of the PRs into PO will also happen, I think.
What grouping of PO? I'm not getting it exactly.
Okay, I will let you know later. I will tell. Okay,
Sure, sure. Okay.
thanks.
No problem. Next is material requirement planning. Let us check material requirement planning. Material requirement planning, usually it will be taken care by your production planning team in real time. But whenever a PR is generated with respect to MRP, on that time you should check it. If you have any issues in support project, you should be able to troubleshoot. For that, let me tell you about the MRP first, material requirement planning. I'll show you the configurations. First step is you have to activate the MRP. First, you need to activate the MRP at plant level. Transaction code is OMDU. Go to transaction OMDU. Click on material requirement planning. Click on material requirement planning. Click on materials requirement. Material requirements planning. Position. Give your plant. My plant is TATP. I'll give my plant. I'll check on this material requirement planning and save it. This will be the first configuration. Next configuration is you have to maintain the plant parameters. To maintain the plant parameters, transaction code to maintain the plant parameters is OPPQ, OPPQ. Go to transaction OPPQ, click on create option, enter your plant. My plant is TATP, I'll enter create option. Create once again. Click on create twice. After that, maintain. Go to maintain. Click on maintain. Maintain. Now give your plant and maintain it. What all you should maintain? You should maintain the number ranges, MRP controller and floats. These three are enough. I'll maintain the number ranges first for all the tabs here for planned order, reservation, purchase request, MRP, everything I'm going to maintain it. First I click on planned orders. I'll select the number ranges. Click on the drop down, select any number range. Just click on the drop down, select a number range. Go back, reservations, just click on F4, give it save. Like this, you need to maintain for now the number ranges for all the tabs here. Just click on F4 option. You can select the number range. Select the number ranges, enter the number ranges and save it. First, once after maintaining the number ranges, maintain the MRP controller. New entries, give your plant. My plant is TATP. I'll give it as the name. You can mention anything. Once it is done, then you can maintain the floats. Maintain the floats. In floats, you can give any margin key, whatever you want, you can give it. Once it is done, next let us create a material with MRP views. I'll create a material with MRP views. MRP1, I'll take the naming convention. I'll select MRP1 to 3. Then I'll create a material with MRP views. For normal views, I'll give the same one, but MRP, I'll give the MRP type. Let us take any one MRP type. In consumption based planning, you have so many MRP types: consumption based planning, time phase planning, manual reorder point planning, forecast based planning. There are so many types. I'll take it as VB first. Let us take only for one. We'll check it. I'll take it as VB and I'll give the reorder point. Reorder point is nothing but what should be the safety stock for the material. That is what I'm mentioning here. The reorder point is nothing but the safety stock what you should have in the storage location. I'll give it as reorder point as 1000, MRP controller as SHA, and lot size. Lot size I'll take it as EX. Lot for lot order quantity I'll take it. Then planned delivery time 5 days I'll mention. Schedule margining keys. Margin key I had given it as 01. I'll take the same. Then in accounting view, if you want, if you have in MRP3 also you can give the, after giving this I'll mention, if you want in MRP3 view you can mention the, where's MRP3, we can give the availability check, that is daily requirement. I'll take it as this is a daily requirement. Once the material is created, now after creating the material, now let us run the MRP. What do you have the stock now? Do you have any stock for this material? No, right? It is zero now. So the material stock is zero, and the reorder time, reorder point, what I have given it as 1000. 1000 is nothing but the safety stock. So as soon as I run the MRP, what will happen? System will go and check the stock in MMP, and it will compare with the reorder point. Whatever you have the reorder point stock, suppose I have 1000 now. If you have 1000, if you run the MRP, if there is no stock, automatically a purchase request will be generated for 1000 quantities. If you have a stock of 100, then only for 900 quantity it will create a purchase request. So now let us check by running the MRP. To run the MRP, transaction code is MD02. In that, I'll just give the material and plant, then click on enter. Just give the material and plant, click on enter option. So just give the material, click on enter. Purchase requisitions created is one requisition has been created. Now I'll go to transaction MD04 to check the what is the PR number. That is in transaction MD04, just give your material and plant and enter, so that a purchase request will be generated for 1000 quantity. And after you know how to create a purchase order, here only click on details of element option, click on purchase order, then create it. Then create the purchase order, then GR invoice. Carry out the same process. You'll select this adopt option. After clicking on adopt, it will ask for the purchase organization and vendor. After giving this, system will throw an error. What source has been not maintained? Source has to be maintained. For that, you will get an error to maintain the source. You know how to maintain the source. It should be maintained in transaction ME01. You maintain the source, then post the GR and invoice. Same process, no changes. Follow the same process and post it. Okay. Now let us see quota arrangement. Any doubts here? Okay, if there is any doubts, let us move to quota arrangement. I'll tell you how to activate the quota arrangement. Okay, next topic is quota arrangement. For quota arrangement, what you should do when you're creating a material or in change material, also have an option. If you want to do the quota arrangement process, I'll tell you with MRP, I'll do it quota arrangement. I'll go to MM01, I'll create a material as quota 1. Then let me create it with MRP views. I'm going to do it with MRP views. Quota arrangement is nothing but splitting of quantities between the vendors, different vendors. How we will do this process with respect to MRP, I'm showing it now. I'll select the MRP views, then accounting view. Everything remains the same, but only one change what you're going to do is in purchasing view. In purchasing view, quota arrangement usage should be, you should give the value here. It means my quota arrangement should work based on the purchase order, sales order, planned order, requisition, MRP. For everything it should work. So I have taken it as 4. After this, rest all data will remain the same. You can enter the same. My quantity 1000, I'll take it. I'll give MRP controller, lot size, everything I'll mention. Only one change what you should do, quota arrangement usage, you should give the value. After giving the value, then rest all same process. Follow the same process, no changes. Once the material is created, maintain the source list. Source list is mandatory for all the vendors. Suppose I want to split the quota between three different vendors on a percentage basis, like 50% for the first vendor, second vendor 30%, 20%, like that. If you want to split the quota, then purchasing information record is mandatory. So what I'm going to do, I'll create the purchasing information record for any three vendors. First, let me take it for any three vendors. First vendor. I'll maintain for any three vendors so that I can split the quota with three different vendors. Now I'll go to transaction MEQ1. For quota arrangement, I'll go to transaction MEQ1. I'll give the material and plant valid to for how many days it is valid. You can give up to for 1 year, 2 years, how many years you would like, you can give it. In minimum quantity split, just double click on minimum quantity split. Here, give it as E. E for F for external procurement. I'll select the vendors, all three vendors. I have three vendors, right? Let me select all three vendors. Same vendors. Let me select the same vendors what we already have. Maintain the PIR. I'll select the same vendors here. For which I have maintained the PIR, I'm selecting the same vendors and I'm splitting in the percentage basis. So after doing this, create quota arrangement. Once it is saved, next, so quota will be always picked based on the reorder point planning. It is nothing but your safety stock. For this material, I don't have any stock. So based on that, it is going to divide. Before doing that, before running the MRP for this, there is one configuration for this where you have to check whether the splitting of quota is active or not. It can be checked in transaction OMI4. Go to transaction OMI4, click on MRP lot size, click on MRP lot size, double click on EX and make sure, because what you have given the lot size is EX while creating the material. So make sure that this splitting quota is active. If this is active, then you can run the MRP. To run the MRP, you have to do MD02 and MD04. MD02, I have run purchase requisitions created as three. Three requisitions has been created because I have splitted the quota for three different vendors and my reorder point was only 1000. Based on 1000, first one 50%, he got 500, second one 300, third one is 200. After this, you know how to make a purchase order. Create a purchase order for all three requisition, then same process to the GR and invoice. This is quota arrangement with respect to the MRP. If you have a MRP, this is the process you need to follow for quota arrangement. Okay, so any doubts here? Okay, okay, let us move to the next topic. Next topic is physical inventory and cycle counting. What do you mean by physical inventory? Physical inventory means you have to go and check the stocks. Physical inventory is nothing but go and check the stocks physically in the storage location, compare it with your SAP stocks. If you find any difference, if you find any discrepancies, whether it might be increase in the stock or decrease in the stock, whatever, you can update it by doing the physical inventory process. There is a 3-step process for that. There are 3 steps. I'll show how to carry out the process. Okay, first let us take one example for which I already have a stock. I'll take this material, I'll take it as WS1. WS1 plant is TATP. I think WS1 I don't have it. For any material for which I have stock, I'll take it as, I think for WS3 I have stock. Let me check. Okay, I have a stock of 40. What I will do, I'll go and check it physically. When I check it physically, out of 40 I'm able to see only 38. Rest 2 has been damaged. I have to remove from the SAP. If I want to remove it, when I check it physically, I should know the reason. Because it has been damaged, I need to remove from the system. If you want to remove, there is a process you need to follow. I'll show the process, that is physical inventory. There are 3 steps here. First, you need to create a physical inventory. To create physical inventory, transaction code is MI01. Go to transaction MI01. Go to transaction MI01. Give your plant and storage location. So you're getting an error. Whenever you get an error as transaction event type, always go to transaction OMBT. What was it was for IB, right? Here error was for IB. I'll go to transaction OMBT and I'll do the changes for transaction event type IB. I'll go to groups, click on groups, then select where is IB, search for IB. Yes, I have it here. Then let me save it. Once it is done, I'll create a inventory document. For creating inventory document, let me go to the transaction MI01 once again. Then I'll create a document. Material is WS3 and storage type is 1. 1 stands for warehouse or your storage location. Okay, I'll select as 1. It was in your warehouse. I'll save it. Once it is saved, I'll get an inventory document number. I'll make a note of it. Then I'll go to the next step, that is to enter inventory count. In there, I'll give the physical inventory document number what I got in the first step with the fiscal year. With the fiscal year, I'll enter it. After entering it, I'll give the quantity. What is the quantity I'm able to see is only 38. Out of 40, I can see only a stock of 38. I'll give it as 38. After entering it as 38, I'll go to the next transaction, that is enter physical inventory difference. So here what I'm going to do, I'll give the document number with the fiscal year. As soon as you give it here, system will check the stock in MMB and it will show what is the difference you have. You have a difference of 2 pieces and the value of that is 100 INR. Here it will ask for the reason. What is the reason for this? If you have any reason, you can list it out here. So I have so many reasons. If I take any reason, suppose I'll take it as damaged. Let me take it as damaged. So I'll go get on error now. What is the error? So in physical inventory, you should always know the movement type. Whenever there is a difference, whenever there is increase in the stock, it is always 701 movement type. Whenever there is a decrease in the stock, it is 702 movement type. So here the error is stating the reason 3 is not movement defined for movement type 702. It means it is defined for 122, so you can't take this. You need to create your own reason for movement for movement type 702. To create, you have a transaction as OMBS, go there and create it. Click on reason for movement, click on reason for movement, new entries, click on reason for movement, new entries, my movement type is 702. Reason is I'll give it as 1234, and description I'll give it as damaged goods. You should always remember the movement type of physical inventory 701 and 702. 701 is for increasing the stock, 702 is decreasing the stock. Because why you are getting 702 error is here, because we have decreased the stock. Out of 40 you have made it as 38. Go to transaction MI07, then I'll try to post it now. Reason was 1234, right? Again the reason as 1234. I have it here. I'll give this and I'll save. Once it is saved, go and check the stock. Stock will be automatically reduced to 38 in your MMB. You're getting one more error for transaction event type WI. You know how to do it. Go to OMBT and WI, place it for this year. Text what you have created for this year, you can post it. I'll try to post it once again now. I'll give this and I'll save. Once it is saved, you can go and check the stock. Okay, so once it is done, go and check the stock. Stock will be automatically updated as 38. So this is the process to carry out when you're performing the physical inventory. This can be done randomly for any materials, but if it is mandatory to do for any particular material, usually they will do it mandatory for few expensive materials. If it is mandatory, then they have to set up the cycle counting. How to set up the cycle counting, I'll show it now. So after this, let us check the stock, then we will see how to set up the cycle counting. If you set up the cycle counting based on the intervals what they have given, you have to carry out the physical inventory process for those particular materials. So let us do the settings, and these settings, cycle counting settings, will be usually carried out by your WM team. But you should know the configuration and how the material will be subjected to cycle counting. How you can identify, you should know that. So I'll show the cycle counting process after posting this difference. Okay, now I'll go and check the stocks. I'll go to WS3, I'll give it as, click on execute. It is not yet prepared. Let me refresh. See, it has showing a count of 38. It is automatically updated. After this, next step, you have to do if you want to do this, carry out the physical inventory process for any materials, for any expensive materials, you should set up the cycle counting. For setting up the cycle counting, there is one configuration that can be done in transaction OMCO. Transaction in OMCO, you can do the settings for cycle counting at plant level. So what I will do, I'll select the existing plants, copy it, then I'll replace it my plant code. My plant code is TATP. So this will show how you have to perform the cycle counting physical inventory process for the particular material. For few materials you can do it on a yearly basis you can do, or quarterly basis, monthly basis, like that all you can do. That's why they set up the intervals here. So based on the material you can carry out the cycle counting. For that, what you should do, after create doing the configuration, you can go to mm02, just select the view, only one view, that is for general plant data storage one. Here if you give the value here in cycle, you have a cycle counting physical inventory. If you have any value here, then it is mandatory to carry out the physical inventory process. If you don't have, if it is not mandatory, if you are not given, if there is no value here, then it is not mandatory to carry out the physical inventory process. Okay. So they might ask you a question: how will you identify whether the material is subjected to cycle counting or not? If there is any value in this particular field, then the material is subjected to cycle counting. If you don't have any value, then the material is not subjected to cycle counting. Okay, these are the 4 topics for the day. Anything, any doubts you can ask me regarding this.
Manoj, while converting the PRs into PO, suppose you take an example of some five PRs are created with single line items, and we would like to create only one PO against the five PRs. Then how this can be done? Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Manoj.
Yes, in the PR you can give the vendors at the item level, right?
Yeah.
So if you have one vendor for 5 different materials, it will be created only one PO, it will create with the line items. If you have different vendors for different materials, then it will create different POs. You can configure and check it in your system. So create 5 line items for one PR, create 5 line items for all the 5 line items, for 5 items, make the give the materials, different materials for the same vendor. Okay,
Okay.
create 5 line items. There you'll, while create converting a PO, only one PO will get generated with 5 line items. Okay, one more scenario, create PR with 5 line items for 5 different vendors. Only one PR. On that time, 5 POs will get created. For one PR, 5 POs will get created for 5 different line items. Because
No,
in
no.
PO, yes.
My requirement is we are having some five purchase requisitions with the same vendor and different
Yes.
materials, and our requirement is to create only one PO against that vendor with five different materials. The PO
Yes,
should have
it
five
will create
material.
only one. It will create only one PO only. It will not create 5 POs.
So in
For
the so in
5
that
different
tab,
materials. For
uh,
5 different materials, if you have only one vendor, it will create only one PO. It will not create 5 different POs.
so
Okay.
just there we have to mention PR2 to PR this one and multiple option, right?
Where?
In doing that,
Yeah.
in automatic PO, hello.
Yes, Anand, please proceed.
Sir, this was for the automated PO, right, sir? The
Yes,
question was
yes.
for, yeah.
This question for
I-
is for automatic.
Yeah, in that we have to give the PR numbers therein and select on the multiple option, right?
Oh, multiple selection. That's what his scenario is different. He is saying that I have 5 different materials, but I have only one vendor. So he has 5 different materials in one PR. Okay,
Okay.
he has 5
In
different materials in one PR, but the vendor is same. So he's saying it has to create only one PO for 5 different PO materials. It will create in the same way.
in the tab we also have that vendor to vendor, and we also have material to material, right, sir? So there also we can we put there or
No, always in purchase order, vendor will come in the header level. In PR, it will come in the item level. What will happen if you are giving the PR, if you have one vendor for 5 different materials, it is going to create only one PO with different line items. If you have different vendors for the materials, then it will create different PO. Sidhu, for your case, if you are asking for 5 different materials, you have one single vendor, yes, it is going to create only one PO. It is not going to create multiple POs for this. You can replicate and check it in your system.
Okay, okay. I will
You
check and get back
okay,
to you
you
on Saturday.
replicate and you tell me if you have any issues. Okay, it will
Okay,
create
fine.
only one PO. Whatever your requirement, what you are saving, obviously it will take in the same PO. Okay, once you create, if you have any doubts, you tell me.
Okay,
Let
sure.
us discuss on
Sure,
this.
Manoj. Okay.
Okay, yes. Okay, these four topics are completed. So from next class, let us do some indirect materials. Let us start with the indirect materials. Okay, I'll give an overview on the indirect materials. Then we'll do pricing procedure, all those remaining topics. Okay. So tomorrow also it will be on the same time, almost 8:45 only. We'll start at 8:45 tomorrow.
Okay, Manoj. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. So can we close the call now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Manoj.
Okay.
Okay.